Deep within the shadows of a quiet Myanmar village, a story is whispered that still chills the bones of the locals. It is a tale not of myths, but of a lingering soul that refuses to leave the living behind. In 1998, a family moved into a house they thought was a dream. Little did they know, the very ground they walked on was soaked in a decade of unspoken sorrow and silent, desperate screams.
Tell me, as you sit there in the dark watching this, are you truly alone, or is there someone standing just behind you, waiting for the light to fade so they can finally be noticed? Gojaw and Mathida bought this old estate for a price too good to be true. They ignored the warnings of the neighbors, thinking they had found a sanctuary for their future. But the house had a neighbor that never slept. Their backyard shared a thin, broken fence with the town's oldest graveyard, a place where the spirits of the forgotten still wander the earth. The first night was quiet until exactly 3 a.m. The sound of metal clinking against metal echoed through the empty kitchen. Someone was washing the dishes, but everyone in the house was fast asleep. Madida followed the sound, her heart racing with dread. The air smelled of damp earth and old incense. The kitchen was empty, yet the dishes were wet and shining under her flashlight beam. Every morning, the house was immaculate. Chores were finished before dawn. They felt a strange presence, a silent, unseen servant who asked for nothing but remained always terrifyingly near. They tried to convince themselves it was an Ain Saunet, a guardian spirit. But in Myanmar, we know that some spirits don't guard out of love. They haunt out of a dark, eternal obsession. Driven by curiosity, Gojaw waited in the shadows. The air grew freezing. The smell of rotting jasmine filled the room as the old clock struck the midnight hour. And there she was, crouched on the floor, a translucent figure of a young girl. She was frantically scrubbing the floor with her bare, skeletal hands, her movements mechanical and cold. She looked at him, not with anger, but with an eternal sorrow. She was a slave, even in death, bound to the tasks she never finished while she was alive. She won't stop until you do. The elders told them the dark truth. 10 years ago, a young maid had worked here. Abused and broken, she took her own life under the ancient banyan tree that still stands in the backyard. She was buried in an unmarked spot right against the fence. Her soul never crossed over. She returned to the only life she knew, a life of endless, painful, and eternal service. They held a merit-sharing ceremony, praying for her release. They offered her the peace she never had in life. Only then did the nightly clinking in the kitchen
finally fall silent.
But the locals still avoid the path near the gate. They say on rainy nights you can still hear a broom sweeping the porch. She is waiting for the next family to move in. Thank you for watching this true Myanmar horror. Remember, some spirits never leave. They just wait for the lights to go out. Subscribe now, or she might follow you home next.